Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshయం Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagwan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti as is 5 phase, Agora Murti has is 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti has is 5 phase, Satyojata Murti has his 5 phase, Ishana Murti has his 5 phase. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagwan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a supreme pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam has made science of power manifestation, yoga, temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam and Nityananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nityananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamalapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagwan now explains who is His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness, Nityananda Paramashivam, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars, and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measured, measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Nityananda Jnana Paddhati for the power of depth dimension, powerful cognition from Bhagavan Satsang on Bhagavad Gita Decoded.
We have a word called philosia. See, in Sanskrit we say darshana. So even the word philosophy is not a complete translation. Philosia means the experience of the beings who had expanded consciousness. Their experience gets noted down in the form of a darshana, a spiritual literature which gives spiritual insights, and with the insight people start living. We call this as living enlightenment. So this book basically teaches living enlightenment, living an enlightened conscious life. In this book, the 4th chapter, 6th verse I am speaking. Let me enter into today's verse. O eternal with the character of immutability, and though the master of all life forms, taking control of my inherent source, with the peculiar power of illusion, I come into existence with form. It's so beautiful. The unique concept of Hinduism is explained in this truth. It's very nice chance for this Mount SCC College student also to learn what is something unique only to Hinduism. In this verse, Bhagavan describes the principle of incarnation. See, yesterday, Krishna described what is reincarnation. Please understand. The principle of birth and death. As I said, every time you start responding in a new way to a problem or situation or crisis, you take new birth. You live many times In one body, many minds. In one mind, many bodies. Sometimes you are stuck with one mental pattern. Without coming out of it, you spend janmas after janmas after janmas. Lives after lives after lives. Same way, sometimes within one body, you go through so many minds. I tell you, best use of time is within one body, go through all types of minds. That's best use of time. Don't waste cosmic time. People ask me, Swamiji, how do I know I am growing spiritually? Spiritual growth is happening. Understand, once in a while when you look back, you feel, God, 6 years before how I was, how I used to respond to every situation, how my mental patterns were. Now see how I am. When you look back in your life, God, 6 years before how I used to respond. Some people, why 6 years? Even 3 years before how I used to respond, how I used to behave. See now how I am. There are some people, why 3 years? 1 year before, how I used to respond, now how I am. If the period you feel you are different and now you are different, if that period is coming down, your spiritual growth is happening in full speed. Understand? That period is what I call one birth. For some people it is 5 years. For some people it is even one full janma. Some people one full janma also don't feel, those days how I used to be, now how I am. No. It's all same. That period of transformation is what I call one birth. Today sit and do this like a homework. When you look back, what was the time you will honestly feel as your old personalities, death, and the new personalities have expression. If you look back, is it 3 year or 4 year or 1 year or 8 months? Look back. See the transformation period. That is what I call as time of one birth of your mind. One birth of your mind. One life of your mind. If all your patterns, you are responding in a new way, then the old mind is dead. One life of your mind. Actually, one life of your mind, when it reduces, your spiritual growth is intensely increasing. If one life of your mind, say average, one life of your body, 80 to 90 years. Your average, one life of your mind, now you should know by doing this exercise. By digging it out, you should know. Is it 5 year, 4 year, 3 year? Understand? I'm giving you clear principles. When you sit, do the homework properly, looking in, not even one pattern, you should be giving old response. See the old response date, When you used to respond in your own unconscious way, now all patterns you should be responding in new way. If you have not yet started responding to all your major patterns of life in new way, then still your mind is not yet dead. Still the period is happening. Your mind is only getting more old, not yet dead. See, major, I can say only 10 or 15 patterns you use every day in your life. Please understand. You may be thinking, no, Swamiji, you don't know. I use more than 2000 patterns per day. No, you are not that intelligent. Maximum 10 pattern. If you are really demon, you can be having 15 pattern, that's all. Not more than that. Not more than that. So maximum 15 patterns only all of you use per day. If that 15 patterns are transformed, if you are responding to that 15 mental patterns in new way, when I say the mental patterns, let me give a explanation. For example, when your irritation comes up, anger comes up, how you respond, that is one mental pattern. When your tiredness comes up, how you respond, that is mental pattern. When your lust comes up, how you respond, that is your mental pattern. Sometimes people become so unconscious. When lust comes, they respond with anger. When lust comes, if you respond with romance, you are at least in your natural state. When lust comes, if you respond with anger to your lust, you are in perverted state. When your anger comes, you respond in a romantic way. No. These are all the unconscious patterns. When your anger comes, you catch hold of that anger and celebrate it. Lulayi, 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 ooh, ah. You came to rescue my life and you are my savior. When your confusion comes, you respond with active analysis. Actually, when a confusion or chaos comes, you should respond with tiredness and unclutching. But when confusion or chaos comes, you are active. I have seen in Indian villages, chicken, they will run around the garbage cans and dustbins. They will pick all the dust. They will be very active. Your chaos and confusion is garbage. You became like a chicken, very active. Not even ordinary chicken, headless chicken. You jump here to there to here. Boom, boom. Whenever your confusion, chaos comes up, respond with tiredness and unclutched mood. Whenever the peace and restful awareness comes up, respond actively and with actions, life. But whenever you feel restful awareness and relaxed, what you do? You just lie down and sleep. Now see how you respond. When there is a confusion and chaos, you sit and think, analyze, and make everybody in the world as criminal except you. When there is a chaos and confusion, whoever you can remember, all of them become criminals. This fellow should be hanged. That fellow should be killed. this fellow should be chopped. How you actively respond to your chaos and confusion. But when you feel peaceful, little restful, relaxed, you lie down and sleep off.
So beautiful that Bhagwan gave a very powerful cognition how we react to different situation. Now let's go to the Shastra Pramana for manifesting the power of depth.
Is taken from the Shiva Sutras, verse 1.16. Shuddha Tattva Sandhanadva Apashu Shaktihi. Shuddha Tattva Sandhanadva Apashu Shaktihi.
Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.16. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by fixing the self and aiming at the pure essence, cognizing from the depth of one's being that all that exists is Paramashiva, the pure essence, Suddha Tattva, and by attaining and uniting with the pure essence and existential reality Paramashiva, he's experienced Paramashiva and manifests Paramashiva's infinite power. So beautifully, Bhagavan told us how we constantly react to the different emotions. When we are angry, we are cute. When we are lusty, we are simply getting angry. And when we are in the confusion and we simply blame others. And when we are restful, we go to sleep. Constantly, we are creating chaos with every reaction that we have. Instead, understanding that everything is a reflection of the consciousness, how we exist. If we project the mind, it is going to continuously throw tantrum and project it in a chaos. But if we understand that projecting the mind, nothing can be achieved. The mind is a processor. If you ask it to project some data from our past, which is a garbage, obviously it is going to create all kinds of chaos. If the mind settles with the higher reality without the thoughts from the past and the future, Bhagavan says, we'll be in the space of Paramashiva, manifesting the space of Paramashiva, experience the space of Paramashiva, and having the infinite powers of Paramashiva. So beautifully, Bhagavan gave the Shastra Pramana reference and the powerful cognition. Let's go to the Apta Pramana. Aptas are the rishis, munis, nayanamas, alvars who are enlightened masters who have time tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Apta Pramana. This is from Valmiki Ramayana, Balakanta, chapter 60. Here we have the king Satyavarta wish to ascend to the heaven with his mortal body, requested his guru Vashishta to perform the needful rites. To achieve this goal, Vashishta refused to perform the ritual. Vishwamitra, who had the intense rivalry on Vashishta, accepted the Trishangu's request and agreed to perform the necessary rites to raise Trishangu to the heaven. With the physical body, the ritual began with the ascetic powers of the sage, and the former king Trishangu started ascending to heaven. The Devatas refused to permit Trishangu to enter and tossed him out. This made Vashishta upset, and sage Vashishta supported it in creating a parallel heaven, Trishangu Swargam, in the portion of southern skies near the South Pole. He had the power to even create a Trishangu Swargam. not just move the object up and down, he's moving the lokas up and down. Such was the power of the devotees, just manifesting the highest powers, infinite powers of Paramashiva, how they existed, celebrated, and manifested ultimate reality. Now, let's go to the Atma Pramana of Bhagwan's Leela.
The atheist traditions in the West say man made God in his mold. Some of the religious traditions in the West say God made man in his own mold. I say God, whether he made man in his own mold or not, I don't know. I don't know God. But I know Sadashiva, Godel. He did not make you in his mold. He made you in his own sea. Listen to this word. I am using the word sea. S-E-E, not S-E-A. Listen to this word very carefully. See is an action. I wanted to say, when I see, one end is me, another end is you, another end is you, that's all. Because you are seeing with two eyes, what you are seeing, you can't absorb that into you. But I am seeing with the three eyes, what I see, I can absorb that into me. And I know it is my own other end. Understand, that is why I am using the word, not even seeing, see. I am giving you exact, literally what I wanted to convey, the relationship between you and Sadashiva. You are the see, not seen, seeing, see of Sadashiva. Listen, just now I made a statement. When you see through the third eye, whatever you see, you can manifest, manipulate as you want. It means what you see will be your own extension. It is you. See, if I can make my right hand bend, do whatever I want, I can do, means this is me. What you understand as me is what I convey through the word see. In you, the me is only materially which is connected to you. In me, me is what is connected to me even by see. Listen. For you, me means what is materially connected to you. For me, me means what is seely connected to me.
Let's go to the Shakshi Pramanas, the millions of disciple devotees initiated by Bhagavan, now lifting and dropping the coconut so beautiful.
Into levitation, which is a breadth dimension. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate levitating this coconut. And this coconut is just a regular coconut. It's actually got juice on the inside. I'm putting it in the palm of my hand. I'm keeping the palm of my hand completely flat. And I'm going to focus on levitating it. So there it is.
Prataksha Pramana, scientific studies. What can be measured? Measuring the effects of being in enlightenment state. Vedic sciences have always maintained that consciousness is the very substance of space and time. His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Paramahamsa Nityananda, has clearly defined the existence of 11 dimensions of consciousness. As per his elucidation, space can exist by itself. On the other hand, time can exist only in the presence of space, but can still exist without other dimensions, including the obvious ones, depth, length, and breadth. Source from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 2, Consciousness, page 83. In quantum terms, thought too is energy. Every cell of our body produces thoughts in the form of signals, which may be electrical, chemical, or otherwise. These can be measured in TPS, or thoughts per second. The normal TPS of the average human being can be hundreds of or thousands. Some thoughts are processed consciously, while others are processed unconsciously. A TPS of 0 is the state of Advaita, or enlightenment. Space is made up of strings of potential energy, which are in constant vibration, spanda, leading to the creation of virtual particles. This is a very basis of the Vedic truth of consciousness. In the Avatar Shastra, Swamiji mentions quantum physicist Amit Goswami's article about entanglement between two people. Quantum physicist of Indian origin, Amit Goswami, made two people meditate together. They were separated in two chambers, one person in each. When one person had a light stroked at his eye, it caused the firing of certain frequency in the brain. Remarkably, at the same moment, the other person's brain also fired, even though he never saw the light. This proves that the energies of people intuitively affect each other.
There are two kinds of movement in the world. One kind of movement is maximum speed limit with the speed of light. That's the kind of movement that is allowed in the domain that we call space and time. That's where matter moves, that's where things look diverse. But the other kind of domain is where the speed of communication is infinite. We call it non-local. That's the domain of potentiality. And if there is instant connection in that domain, then do you see, it got to be one. If things are instantly interconnected, that interconnectedness is a oneness. That is the oneness that mystics and spiritual teachers talk about. That is the oneness. So simply by recognizing that objects are possibilities, we are looking at a oneness. And then it's just a question of language. Question of language. What should we call this oneness?
Whole brain activation studies were done on Nityananda Gurukul students. The Bender-Gestalt test assesses the level of whole brain activation, the student's ability to see the big picture and recall the details of it. It is more than an IQ test. It was showing outstanding results on the memory ability of the Gurukul students. It is very unusual for students to remember such a high number of Gestalt forms. Each Gurukul student attended to the test card carefully and persistently transposed the Gestalt form. Remaining calm, cool, and collected, they initially approached each Gestalt form with a keen observation and analysis of the form, and then exhibited a steady perseverance, attending 8-minute details. Source Avatar Shastra, Chapter 8, Third Eye Awakening, page 177. Charting Future Terrain with Higher Education. This article explores the role of contemplative practices within an emerging interdisciplinary area that are referred to as creativity and consciousness studies. Within the new area, consciousness is studied from an integral perspective that brings together insights from a range of wisdom traditions and modern science. Meditation is presented as an essential first-person modality for investigating consciousness, and formal and non-formal approaches to meditation and delineated to establish important guidelines for the introduction of meditation into an academic setting. The role of first-person experience helps to develop new notions of rigor and interdisciplinary learning that can lead to an expanded educational experience, which can help to develop qualities such as mental clarity, inner calm, insights, compassion, and creativity. The article closes with reflections on the importance of expanding our approach to education in light of the demanding challenges and creative opportunities in today's world. Source: Meditation, Creativity, and Consciousness. Power of depth dimension, making the object move up and down. Setting up. For the setting up, you will need a camera with a timestamp. Nanjana, this is optional, and a matchstick or toothpick, and clear glass or bowl of water. Let's take a few moments to set up your camera. Step number 1, please download the timestamp app. Step number 2, click on video. Step number 3, ensure that time is shown on screen. Step number 4, make sure the camera is facing you. Please take a few moments to set it up. The guidelines. Before we start the manifestation process, let us go over a few steps to get ourselves ready. For the setup, please place a glass or bowl of water in front of you along with few matchsticks or toothpicks. Step number 2, set up your recording device to capture in full view of the glass or bowl of water throughout the manifestation process. To start, step number 3, turn on the video recording device with the timestamp. Step number 4, apply Yananjana between your brows if you have it. Bring your awareness between the brow center and now connect to Paramashiva. Step number 5, place the matchstick or the toothpick in the water and gently focus on connecting to the energy to move the object up and down without touching it. Step number 6, sit unclutched for 21 minutes, listening to the Mahavakya chanting. Drop all interruptions. Step number 7, when the Mahavakya subsides, video verify the matchstick or the toothpick has moved up and down in the glass or bowl of water. Step number 8, in the full view at all times, carefully bring the camera closer to capture the manifestation. Step number 9, manifestation range of outcomes. A, 1, end of the partially immersed. B, mostly immersed. C, fully vertically immersed and bobbing up and down. Step number 10, turn off your camera, celebrate and enjoy.
Power manifestation instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck and back in a straight line so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana and Manipuraha, where navel center, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
Let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and our egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva, sitting, means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hence, sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen, same way. You may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, it is just sitting. It's only the presence, the Shaktipada, makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
You see, let me explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now, you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like it just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me, why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you, before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminder. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes this external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful, avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just a nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained initiation. Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shape form. It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thought. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you, between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical, and unclutched by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. We need to understand one more thing. This technique of being unclutched, it does miracles in your being. In the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump. The transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva on Shivaratri day because our space became oneness. Anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, it should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
The most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya, pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here, Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness, through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering, what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection, so they start manifesting the powers, they start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving for all the This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password and it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nityananda. Nityananda. Maha Sadashivoham.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam from Kailasha. Remembering Paramashiva in your third eye, again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone, nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched. Complete completion to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva. That everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you will be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Jnana Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Jnana Paramashivam. 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 Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Paramashivaham. Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivaham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivaham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivaham.
Verification process. Please be sure to thoroughly verify the following. Step number 1, verify that the time and date stamp appear on your video. Step number 2, verify that your video has a wide-angle horizontal view and has a full view of the object at all times. Step number 3, verify that your video recording is continuous without stopping and restarting during the manifestation process. Step number 4, verify that you have not edited your video in any way and that the camera has not moved during the manifestation process. Step number 5, but during the verification process, you will need to reposition the camera to capture the movement of the object. Step number 6, video verification of the objects moving up and down in the water without you touching it. Step number 7, Now that the verification process is complete, the next instructions will guide you how to upload and share your video. Thank you so much for your participation.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotyar Manifesting Power Groups. Thousands of people are part of that. And you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/power manifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the power manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate beautiful multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness, the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us, and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity. Bhagavan says the quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer, that asking Bhagavan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra, thanking Bhagavan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the power manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamadashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nityananda Parameswaram Padaka Arpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnana Paddhati, Nityananda Jnana Paddhati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nityananda.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham